Hi everyone. Okay, so I wanted to make a video about hang on, cut. This is really hard. Okay, so this video is probably the hardest video I've ever had to make. It is so personal to me. It is, I don't know, if you don't want to see tears, you probably should leave, because I don't know if I can contain myself. I don't know, like, it's taken me so long to get over this and I'm still not over it. Like, it still really hurts. So okay, so basically my relationship, I was 17 when I met my partner. We had our daughter. After that, 17 years we were together. 17 years. That is like from 17 years old all the way through my adult years. That's like my whole adult life I was with this man. So I was so naive. I was so naive, and it annoys me. It annoys me that I was so naive too. You know, I believed that love is forever. You love someone, you give them your all, you give them your heart, you dedicate your life to someone that they will reciprocate it, I guess. But yeah. Okay, so let me get into the story. So I'm gonna start from the start because I'm just gonna start from the start, and you know, I don't even know how to explain the whole thing because I don't know, this is my life. So, okay, so I met him when I was 17. I was working in a bakery. He was working in the bakery. He moved in as a flatmate. Within a week, were together. After he moved in, he was much, much older than me. I know I didn't have any family around me at that time. Like, I'd been in youth housing, and then I had gone in and I was in my own flat, and I know he was like this older, more mature, I guess parent figure, I guess. So I kind of like, I don't know, I felt safe with him. I felt like he would look after me and everything would be okay. So our relationship at the very start was good. The very start. Not long after the start though, I had noticed things that were going on, like he drank a lot. Like, it's something that he had done before he met me. He'd continued to do when he met me, and the person that he was when he was drunk was not the person he was. It changed him. It turned him into this. It turned him into this evil, like, when I'd look into his eyes when he was drunk, it was like there was nothing there. It was like this blank, dead stare, and I saw that look so many times over those first few years, like so many times. I was already pregnant by the time, you know, the real, you know, the bad stuff kind of came out. At first it was, you know, like just he was drinking, and he'd change when he drunk. He became kind of violent a little bit and just unpredictable. I don't know, like it was not the person he was, because I know his heart and I know what he was like. He was not like that. It was the alcohol, and I don't care what anyone says. Like, they might say alcohol is better than drugs or whatever. It's not. You know, some people are just, it changes them. So I supported him through everything. I didn't actually drink myself. I couldn't do it. Seeing what it was doing to him, I just couldn't drink. So I eventually, like, you know, got pregnant, had my daughter. This is where this but okay, so if I could go back and think the first things that actually were signs of what was going on and that I should have seen it as warning signs, I guess it was around this point. So I had my daughter premature. She was 10 and a half weeks preemie, or 2.5 months preemie. I was like really sick. I had preeclampsia. I was flown to Brisbane from where we lived in the Royal Flying Doctor Service, and it was hard. I'm not gonna lie, it was really hard. I was in hospital for a long time, like with her and like previously to having the birth because I had been sick and stuff. So while I was in hospital, he was at home, and I really didn't hear from him as much as I thought I would when I was there. And after I got back from the hospital, because when I was down there, I struggled. Like, I didn't have money. I don't know, it was kind of like a disconnect. Like, he had all the money. I didn't really have a bank card. I didn't have any way of having money. I literally felt like I was starving down there. At one point, the hospital actually like got me some food and stuff because I wasn't eating. And I was staying in the Ronald McDonald House. They did have like bread and stuff, but like it wasn't, I don't know, it wasn't like, you can't just live off that kind of thing, you know, like, I don't know, like I feel like, and I was a bit shy to take stuff that they had. I don't know, like, so I got home eventually with my daughter. When I got home, there was, in the lounge room, he had put blankets all up on because they were like big glass doors which you could see out and people could see it. And so I was like, hang on, why has he got these big glass, like the big glass doors are covered up with blankets? And then I realized he'd been on the internet in that room, and so I didn't think of anything about it for a while. And then I was okay, so I was looking at his bank statements, because you know that's what you do when you're in a relationship. You kind of like, I don't know. I was looking at the bank statement, and there was thousands of dollars spent on live cam girls sites. Like, this is when I was in hospital, having my daughter, sick as anything. He was spending our money, and I was hungry. I didn't have any money. I was like, you know, like, I didn't even really get any pictures of my daughter because I didn't have money to take. I didn't even have money to buy like a cheap camera to take pictures of my daughter. And he was at home drinking and paying for live cam girls. And I got on the sites that he'd been using because I looked him up and like got onto his account because I demanded he show me what he was doing, and like I looked into some of his accounts and they weren't just cam girls, they were like cam boys and like the lady boys, and it was everything, you name it, it was on there. Like, and it broke my heart, and I was so young, and I just had my baby, and I had my family. Really, I didn't really have them in my life that much. They really weren't present in my life too much. They were kind of around at that point, but they just weren't reliable, you know, like I didn't feel like I had anyone, and I was like, okay, let's get over it, we'll get past it, and we will be fine, you know, we will be fine, you know, things happen in relationships, you get over them. And so it was brushed under the carpet, and even though it broke my heart, and he swore he would never do it again, he would not spend our, because I said, why would you spend our money on that? Why wouldn't you just look it up for free or something? I don't know, like I just didn't understand it, you know, like I didn't understand. We were just starting out with our family, and we hadn't even got all the baby stuff yet. We were just starting out. So, yeah, that happened. It still hurts. It's years ago, and it still hurts. It still hurts so bad. So I got over that. He got over it. We got over it. We moved a lot after these events, you know. He couldn't hold a job. He would go through stages. He would drink, and then he just he just didn't want to work there anymore, and he couldn't, so I'd have to find him a new job. I was the one who was always constantly having to find the new job. I would find a good job, I would move us, and I would help, you know, organize everything. And, you know, moving, it cost a lot of money, and, you know, any savings that we had, it was going into that every single time. And if I had friends, I lost them all. Like, I was being disconnected from every single person I ever got close to. I couldn't have friends. I couldn't have, there was no way, because anytime I got a friend, like, I was really close when we're in our first, well, actually that was like our 4th house by the time we'd had my daughter, because we'd moved so many times before then. But I was really close to the neighbours and the girl that lived next door and stuff, and like, I don't know, like, I never really had that many friends, but she was my friend. And it was hard moving from there, because I had someone to talk to sometimes, you know, like a lot of the time I was all alone, I didn't have anyone, and she was like, she'd come over and talk to me, and her boyfriend would come over and talk to me, and it was good, you know. And then, so we moved a bunch. Eventually, we moved back to kind of where we grew up, the hometown almost, I guess, near that. This is where stuff got really bad. I don't know what happened. Okay, so I do know what happened. Okay, so he worked with another guy who also drank, and they kind of, you know, like, they drank together, I guess. And so, stuff at home got really bad. The police were called a few times, because the neighbours heard me screaming. He'd come home and he'd smash the house up, and I'd have a baby, and he'd be smashing the house up, going off. And it was like he was dead inside. When I looked at his eyes, like he'd push me around and throw me against the wall, and, you know, just stuff. And he didn't even know that he did it, because the next day I'd say it and he didn't know that he did it. He didn't even realise that he did it. Like, he didn't know. And that's the thing, all these years of things have happened, and the next day he didn't know that he'd done it. Like, it was like I'd be hurt, and I'd be like, he did this to me. And there was like a disconnect, because he didn't remember, you know. Like, I've had him spit in my face, I've had him do so many things, or like he'd be like depressed and he'd be smashing his head against the wall, and I'd put my hand there to try and stop him, and my head would get shattered, and, you know, like, stuff like that. And he didn't, and I'd try and explain to him the next day what he'd done, and he didn't even know that he'd done it. It was like, it was really hard. Okay, so that's when I left him. And this is when my daughter it got to the point, she was 3 when I left him. I couldn't do it. I wasn't gonna raise my kid in a family like that. And it was too much, you know, like, it got really bad. So I got a house down the road. My life was coming together. I had my friends again. I had friends in my life again. Like, the first time since I'd met him, because I wasn't really allowed friends. He didn't really like people, and, like, I was really social, but then I kind of I got really closed off, because it just wasn't okay to have friends. So I had my friends back. I had my life was going really good. Me and my daughter had our house. I was buying things. I was, like, paying things off. You know, like, I paid off a couple of fans. I bought a bed. Life was good, you know. I still had contact with her dad. And then one day he texted me and said, "I've done something. I'm sorry." And I was like, what have you done? You know, like, and I freaked out. I was like, what have you done? And I ran to his house as fast as I could, and I found him, and he had cuts all over his body, all over his arms, and he was, like, bleeding, and he's like, I'm sorry, and, like, And I knew it. I knew at that point that I couldn't just turn my back on him because I didn't know what he was gonna do. And he'd told me like before that if you leave me, I'm gonna kill myself and stuff. Like that was the threat, you know. Like and I didn't take it seriously. And then I seen all the cuts, and I moved him back into my house. I moved him back in, it was in the spare room, but we kind of got back together, we were like together again. Every day we'd get up, I told him he wasn't to drink in my house, and he said yes, he agreed he was going to quit drinking, and he did, he quit drinking for me and my daughter. And like I was so thankful for that, because he was a good person when he didn't drink, he really was. Like, it was just the alcohol, so so we'd get up every day and I'd write a list of what we had to do that day. You know, everything from the littlest things like have a shower, do the dishes, do this, do that, play in the yard with our daughter. You know, just a schedule basically. And we just followed that every day, and it was, you know, a few months. And then about 4 or 5 months later, it was his birthday coming up, so I did a birthday party for him. No alcohol, of course. It was like his 30th or something like that, I don't remember. It was like the big one or something. And his sister came, and after the party celebrations had ended, no alcohol, just, you know, party celebrations, his sister encouraged him to go out with her, and I begged him not to go. I cried, I begged, I texted him all night, rang him all night, saying, where are you, what are you doing? And he went, and he was drinking, and he didn't care about me. He just, I didn't see him for like 4 days after that, and it wasn't till his mum come to pick up his uniform. That was the first time I'd seen him. So they got his uniform for work or whatever, and yeah, he was back to his old self again. So I don't know, like, we got over it again. You know, like I am so stupid. I am so naive. I am so stupid because I forgave him again, and I said, okay, can you quit alcohol again? Yeah, so we slowly cut down again, and we went through the whole yada yada again. I was so stressed. Okay, so like, yeah, that happened, and then, what happened after that? I know we moved around. He had stayed quit alcohol. He'd go through stages where he was like worse and better, and he'd fall off the wagon and he'd get back on it, and this happened for a lot of years, you know. Our life, like, everything changed. Like, I felt disgusting. I felt like this person that was disgusting, because when he was drunk, he liked me, and we had a sex life. We had, you know, our life was regular, you know. And then after he stopped drinking, yeah, apparently I'm not good enough. So, and that's how I felt all the years. I just felt like it wasn't good enough. Not once did he ever say you're beautiful or you look good, or I was made to feel like I wasn't good enough. I was always not good enough. So when we were still in that house, I found him texting a female he'd met online. He was texting on the phone, he was like sending pictures, she was sending pictures, they were like having phone conversations. So that hurt a lot. So he was being unfaithful from there, like literally, like the cam girl one should have been enough for me to be like, no, this is not okay, but then this, and I'm stupid, I forgave him. I forgave him because I just wanted a mum and a dad and a kid. I wanted our family to be okay. I wanted a family for my kids, something I never had, and all my friends like online, I had friends online, and they all told me to leave him. They all said it's not okay what he's doing to you, and I was just like, I can't do it. I love him and we have a child together. I can't do it. I will stick by him. I will stick by him. And I did. I stuck by him like some loyal little follower that just, whatever he did to me, whatever he did, but I was always there. So years went on, and from the outside looking in, stuff seemed fine. You know, anyone looking in, he'd call me his wife to everyone. He was my husband to everyone. Everyone thought we were married. We were engaged, but we weren't actually married. I'm not really one for marriage. I don't know. I don't know. So we never actually got married, but I mean, yeah. So years went on. I eventually, I got sick and I gained weight, and you know, stuff happened. Like, I felt like I was always this disconnected from him, and he always made me feel like I was worthless. He never really said anything to me too much, but like there was things that you could just tell. Like, it was just the way I felt. I always felt like it wasn't good enough, and it wasn't until just a while ago, a few years ago now, he actually, this is embarrassing, okay? I am so naive and so oblivious to, like, I thought our relationship was okay, you know. I felt like he didn't really like me that much, but I thought it was okay. I thought it was okay. I didn't even notice. It was my daughter who noticed. My daughter came to me and said, "Mum, I think he's cheating on you." My daughter had, every time he'd go out with her, he was on his phone. When she got christened, in the church, she said she looked down from the stage to see if he was looking at her in a christening dress, and he was on his phone. Like, how can you cheat? How can you cheat when you're in a church? Like, how could you do that? Like, I just wanted him to tell me, like, you know, how hard is it to just say I'm done and leave me, not do that to me. I wasted my life on a man who cheated on me, and it was my daughter who found out, you know. We tracked his phone. Just one day he just left the house, and I texted him. I said, "Where are you?" He said, "I can do what I want. I'm single." And that was the first time I'd ever heard him say anything like that. We were still in a relationship. He was not single. Like, we were still living together. There was no discussion on this. Like, it was, and I was like, what? And we tracked his phone, and it was like to like a pub motel type of thing. So, and he was there for hours, and so I knew something was going on. My daughter knew something was going on, and that happened. I confronted him, and I just said, "Just tell me if you ever loved me, please just tell me, because this is not fair." And he's like, "Yeah, there's another woman," and it just broke my heart. I don't think I have never ever felt that pain inside like I felt that moment. My whole world came crashing down. My whole world. I thought I was gonna die. It hurt so bad that I really thought that I was just gonna fall over and die. It was like this. It was awful. It was horrifying, the feeling. It was like, and I just said, "Get out of my house, get out." And I just like, I'll be honest, like, I could have just picked something up and freaking hit him with it or something. Like, I was so angry. I didn't though. I just said, "Get out," and he packed his stuff and he left. How dare he do that to his family? He could have told me, and he could have left. How could he do that to his daughter when she was getting christened, sit there and cheat in the church? Like, so my relationship ended, and it's been really hard. It's been really, really hard. He left with my daughter's Wii, you know, old stuff that she grew up with, all her, you know, all her games and stuff. He took it all, you know. Our fridge instantly broke because it was like 11 years old, and I had to somehow find money for a fridge. It's been really, really, really hard. My daughter has been maintaining the yard outside because we don't have the money to hire someone. And she's only a little girl, like she's just turned 16, and it's really hard to mow the lawn and start the mower and trim the trees when you're a little girl. And I don't know, I feel really bad because for a long time I wasn't physically able to help. I'm getting to the point where I'd be able to do a lot more, you know, like, but it's been really, really hard. So, yeah, we've had a really hard past year or two, and my daughter's been my support. She has been so good to me, and we're getting through it. It's been really hard. Her dad hasn't contacted her since he left. He stopped paying her school fees. She goes to the private school just down the road, and he stopped paying her school fees after he left. It's like he's taking it out on her because she was the one who caught him out cheating on me. And so he's like taking it out on her by just abandoning her, and so I've been paying, I told the school, like, I've been badgered by the school, and I've been paying $10 a week, which is nothing. I owe thousands of dollars to the school, and it's embarrassing. But they've been really good. They haven't removed her from the school, but I'm gonna owe money for years because I'm on a job seeker payment, and I just don't have the money to pay more. We struggle like paying the rent, and I don't know, like, for a long time he wasn't paying child support. He just stopped paying, and then he's trying to get it cut down to nothing. I've got to like fight against it. I don't even know how they can do that. Like, I'm struggling as well. My daughter doesn't have all the things she needs, and he's just not paying, and like, it's really hard. But you know what? I'm a strong woman, and my daughter's strong, and we're gonna get through it, and we don't need him. We've realized this last year that we don't need that man in our life. My daughter's 16th birthday was 2 days ago, and he didn't contact her. He didn't even like send a text in, and nothing. I don't know how someone could do that to their own child. Like she's a teenager, and it affects her. She's been struggling. Like, she's gained a bit of weight this year. She's having a lot of trouble at school. She just can't concentrate. It's really affected her. At one point, you know, like, she's just like, you can tell that she's struggling, and I hate that. I don't know how someone could do this to their own child. You know, do it to me, whatever, but do it to your child. That's not right. But so this is how my life has been. I'll be honest, it's gonna be really hard for me to ever trust anyone again. I close my doors off to everyone now. I'm terrified of getting close to anyone, because I trusted someone that hurt me so bad. And yeah, well, you know what, I'm losing this weight, and I just got my learner's license, something that I never ever in a million years thought I could do. Like, because I was like, I'm gonna do it, you know, I'm gonna prove that I can do it, and I did it. I got my learner's license, so, and I'm gonna get a job. I've been trying to get a job, and it's really hard. Yeah, so this is it. I'm back on YouTube, and I just wanted to share this part of me because it's been something that's really impacted me in the last few years, and it's been really hard to get over. It's been really hard to keep with my weight loss journey. It's been hard to, some days I haven't wanted to get out of bed. I've just been like, I can't do this, I can't do it, but I'm doing it, and I will not let him bring me down. I will not let a man bring me down. I will not let someone who destroyed my life and I wasted so many years on, I will not let them win. I will not let them win. I'm gonna get out through this, and I'm gonna prove to the world that I don't need someone that's gonna do that to me. I don't need that person. I forgave him so many times in my life. I forgave so many things, and I stuck by him. I was loyal. Apparently loyalty doesn't mean anything though, right? Because yeah. You guys, I'm sorry this wasn't a really emotional one. I feel like I had to say it. I had to get it out. I had to kind of explain a little bit of, I wanted you to see a little bit of more of me that I've hidden away. I didn't want anyone to know, but I feel a little bit better saying about it, you know, telling you a little bit about some of my life. Okay, thank you for watching. See you guys.